So those people obviously went down exploring for the Titanic this week and died. And what I was most surprised by, like the internet's always a dark place. There's always going to be like some people who make some mean jokes about it. But everybody seems to think it's real funny that some billionaires like died this week. And it's like, haha, the billionaires suffered and died.
Why didn't you pull yourself up out of the water with your bootstraps?
Yeah. And it's like,
yeah.
I don't get it. Like, why do people actually hate billionaires? Like maybe there's one billionaire in particular you don't like. Like, oh, I don't like Elon Musk. I don't like what he does, or I don't like fucking Donald Trump, whatever. But anyone with money, we hate.
Mr. Beast could like cure cancer, but if he had a hot dog earlier, someone would point out he has mustard on his shirt and he's a piece of shit. Probably.
Yeah, he gets so much hate. They're like, Mr. Beast is a bastard. Look at him sadistically curing deafness in children for views.
It's like, all ego.
It is for views. You're brilliant. You mean he was making YouTube content to reach the widest audience possible? You really cracked the case here. What a piece of shit. What a scumbag. Like,
it's all ego. That like it's if you're doing too well or if you're doing really bad, people will either kick you. People will kick you on both ends of the spectrum, you know?
Yeah.
I try to just stay in the middle. So this is why I'll never be a billionaire.
Yeah,
the reason that like people
that's why I've avoided that trap as well.
Like,
that's like when people are like, I'll go to the gym, but I don't want to get too big. It's like, I'll work hard, but I don't want to be a billionaire.
I don't want to be too good looking or too rich. People will hate on me.
Yeah, I'm gonna wake up one morning and these abs are gonna be offensively large. It's gonna be out of nowhere, and I'm gonna have to eat pizzas to correct it.
I saw the bathroom in the submarine was 2 bottles and some Ziploc bags.
Ooh.
Yeah, by that logic, I have a bathroom right under my utensil drawer in my kitchen. There's bags and all sorts of things.
I have a bathroom right next to me, if that's the case, yeah.
I saw that the American subs only go 1,500 feet down. It was like 1,550. And that surprised me because this thing was like 12,000 feet down. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Damn, it's really deep.
Did you see
there's only like all subs only go like that comparatively short distance down. The only other vessel that can go down that deep apparently is owned by Gabe, like Newell, who invented steam. He has it's got a cool name also, and it's like the Deep Sea Explorer, and he has the world record for deepest descents in all 5 oceans.
Yeah, it's called like the Triton or something.
I was lost. Owned by Gabe, and then you said his last name, which I didn't gather, and then you said he invented steam.
Yeah,
I'm like, wasn't that invented like a really long time?
You mean Archimedes?
No, he was the first to harness it.
I'm like, how does a man invent steam?
You know what's fun? Like the Gabe Newell sub. I saw exactly what you're talking about, Kyle.
Yeah.
And when you see a picture of Gabe Newell's sub, Triton or whatever it's called, you can tell it's a real submarine. Like it's like, none of that was from Home Depot. That was from like wemakesubs.org. Like all the pieces were special ordered. Like you can see the picture here. Yeah.
Oh,
like,
wow.
Looks real and secure. There's a million cameras and things. When I watched a 20-minute video of course, on YouTube, there's everything. There's a guy with like 150,000 subs who's like, I'm the sub man. He's a sub expert. And I watched a 20-minute video of him from like 3 days ago. And literally he was like, these people are dead. Like there is a lot of discussion about air being left and how that would work, but they are dead. Like the window was rated for 1,500 meters and they are 12,000 feet down. They were crushed instantly. The idea they're rationing air is silly. Like, and at the end of that video, I was kind of like, yeah, but this guy, he is the submarine man. And it does make sense that like, what was it just hanging out down there thousands of feet?
Sounds like he was right about everything.
Yeah, it seems
they found the wreckage, right? Like you're up to speed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Are they sure it's the wreckage?
Yeah, they're pieces of it. Like it's like the standing gear and stuff.
Yeah, apparently it imploded and the people died instantly. They're just done. Then they said they died instantly.
They would.
Ago.
Yeah,
it's sad to see all the backlash because it's like, for one, it takes a certain amount of bravery to do that. I think like I wouldn't fucking do it. You know?
No, not that.
So I don't know. It's just armchair people. Like Twitter's just fucking cancer.
Yeah.
It's
it's so analogous to the action. And I mean, this is not a novel take. I've seen so many people talking about it. Like, it's so similar to the Titanic itself. Like, the guy in charge of it was told, like, this is not safe. Like, this is going to kill you. And they fired that guy and settled outside of court. And like, he knew, like, apparently the first test they did, they just lost communication at like 3,000 feet or whatever, 3,000 meters, whatever it was. Like, that's like, and then just getting back in and going and doing again. Like, I couldn't wrap my mind around the video I watched where he's like, and it's a Bluetooth controller. And I'm like, I know nothing about subs, but this is a bad idea, sir. And the CEO, he was like, we know it's a Logitech dog shit 2-star on Amazon device. And the guy's like, this is something that's made to be beaten around by 16-year-olds. And he like lightly throws it to show how durable it is. And he's like, we got multiple other controllers here just in case. And it's like, oh, okay.
I got mad.
That's where you want to have a Bluetooth pairing issue, is at the bottom of the sea. Like,
I had no problem with the controller. I don't get why people have an issue with it. I have seen Xbox controllers in multi-billion-dollar pieces of United States military equipment.
It's wired.
It's what we use.
Everything. They don't do wireless shit for like submarines. They don't like things.
Well, look, I don't know about if it's wireless. That seems like an oversight.
insane.
I'd want to. Let's plug that bitch in and make sure.
Yeah.
let's come on. But all the same.
Batteries.
Oh my God! If you batteries low, we'll be fine. We're gonna be down there for 2 hours. Don't worry, it's on red, but we're fine. I'll lick them.
Does anybody have a Walkman? Perhaps. But I could borrow your Duracell.
I need 18 AAA batteries.
Yes.
so the official statement, like, did they at a certain point, did they know they were dying, or did they just fucking implode randomly?
If it implodes, you're just dead.
Mike, I'm just guessing here, but that's how they make movies. That on its way down, it was just sinking. They all knew they were in trouble, and then implode, dead.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's not
that like if it implodes and it's carbon fiber, like they said, that makes it just absolutely instant because it shatters, and so it's like just powderized.
Well, if the window broke, it just immediately threw them under. If at 12,000 feet, it's probably 6,000 psi. So I mean, that an oxygen cylinder that we play paintball with, like the scary carbon fiber wrap ones, are 3,000 psi. They're like double that at that depth. And so they just, I don't know what happens to a human body, but we have seen that. I think there's a video. There's definitely images of those. There's 2 or 3 of those submersion divers. The ones who do like they live at that deep depth where they're doing the welding and stuff. And someone operated the airlock improperly. Like they would have had to have ignored like 2 or 3 warnings, but they opened the pressure seal and everybody was pressured to, I don't know, a couple thousand psi, and they just explode. They just like,
apparently what happens like this far down
chunks.
I was reading, and who knows if this is true or not, but because I'd never considered it. Apparently, like, it's so much psi that it like compresses the air so violently that it like is an explosion down there. And so like your body would just be gooified, like just it's just like an explosion. You're just not.
Think of all the little critters on the bottom of the ocean eating them, probably.
It's still better than like 95% of the deaths that people get. Like, I think dying in general sucks.
Yeah.
These guys got an instant one like that.
And it's cool. I mean, they did something like very brave.
It is cool, yeah. I think that people are overlooking that.
People are just shitty. Like,
yeah, you're 100% right about that.
I'd rather go to space.
Like, why would people want to go down? It's like, yeah, that's not my area of interest. But if you're an explorer, it makes 100% sense.
People climb Mount Everest.
People climb. Why do people climb mountains? Why do you go to the bottom of the? Because they're adventurers.
I saw this fucking. It was really cool. This video of it was Everest, and it's this woman kind of freaking out, and some guys like telling her to like stop freaking out. But then they're climbing Everest, and like someone's sliding down because they've like passed out, and they're sliding down the mountain. Like I saw that video a couple months ago, I think, on Twitter. But so people die climbing. Oh yeah. There was one guy up there that I think they just called him like green boots or something because he froze to death, and he's just they can't get him off. He's frozen to the mountain.
I mean, nobody wants him either.
Yeah.
Apparently Green Boots is an important landmark.
Yeah.
Like
so like people want to challenge themselves. People want to explore. I mean, if they die, they die. So.
That seems like
I don't buy that you can't get the bodies or clean if you wanted to. Like, I feel like people are always like, I got other things to do. I'm trying to climb Everest.
Sherpas. Like you don't even have to do it. You just have to show up there with enough money to pay Sherpas to, instead of hauling 200 pounds of gear, take a trash can with you and come back with it full.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, there are people who do that for a living and
or burn that shit.
Don't care very much.
Take 20 gallons of fuel up there, pile that shit up, and melt it. I don't think there's going to be an environmental impact. Let's just melt it down right up there. Go up it's close to you're on Mount Everest. It's going to make stars instantly.
All right, that's a solid point.
Why do we want the bodies removed? Like, it's kind of a good reminder.
I've seen more than garbage.
It's a good, just skulls everywhere as you get up there.
It makes it not even skulls, just like frozen, dead-eyed, glassy faces. Just like some guy like in mid-scream.
Oh yeah, I guess there wouldn't be skulls.
I just passed the screaming child. We're almost to the top.
I wonder what their bodies look like up there. I bet they're pretty well
they're very
preserved.
Yeah, I think there wouldn't even be skulls. I don't think.
Well, freezer burn, but
yeah. They get that thing where it's like the skin's still there, but it's like like the lips are like black and like burned and like freezer burned.
It probably looked like wax, I'd imagine, but I've never seen a frozen dead body. So
yeah, I've only seen frozen dead bodies. I went on a big like
looking at one right now.
YouTube rabbit hole where I just was like reading lists and like reading everyone who's died on Everest and like the pictures of them, and then some of them are like, that's Orange Belt. We don't know who Orange Belt is, and no one's ever turned him over. So we're never going to know who Orange Belt is.
These bodies are not as attractive as I expected.
No, not sexy at all, huh?
Dead.
Well, I mean, I'd do them, but it's hard.
Gross.
It'd be tough.
It'd be one of my tougher ejaculates.
Dude, that sub. I've been thinking so much about that sub thing of like, I know me that I wouldn't have got on that craft to go 50 feet down. Like I'm not saying that I'm terrified of like the idea of it. If it was Gabe Newell's one and I saw that, I'd be like, I'm comfortable with this. Oh, there's YouTube videos I can find of this thing doing what we're about to do successfully. Like, okay, let's do that.
That's other thing,
yeah, like I'd go down a little bit, and I don't want to go all the way down.
What if this guy had a YouTube video? Like he probably did, right? But this wasn't the maiden voyage, was it?
They had never had a successful voyage this far.
I thought they'd been going up and down for years.
Not that far.
Some guy on Reddit said he had done it a few times, and they lost communication every time he did it. But I mean, it's the guy on Reddit. I don't know.
Yeah, it's also it's a guy on Reddit. They don't know. It's the guy who found the Boston bomber.
Well, I would much rather go to like space than although $250,000 to go down the Titanic is a lot different than what was it to fly up on the Soyuz back in the day. The Russians were charging $20 million, I think. 20 million, something like that. Yeah, to go up in to the International Space Station.
In space, like at least going down in the ocean, you're gonna see like all the cool, or hopefully you'll see cool deep fish and stuff you don't see otherwise.
I'm on the other team, Taylor. I think in the ocean your visibility is like 6 feet, even with good light.
I was gonna say, I think space has aliens too, man. Like
and aliens in space, your visibility is like a million miles.
But what else can you look at up there?
Aliens.
The Earth.
Look at the other
stars,
planets,
the moon,
the Earth, and then you go, man, that's nice. What else you got up here? And you're like, shit. 3 minutes in, and he's asking what else we have. You know,
I saw this from my parents.
You already clogged the shitter.
Yeah. Honestly, the photoshopped pictures NASA posts on Twitter are way better. This looks like shit. Like getting mad that it's not as good as the Photoshop NASA pictures.
You brought your binoculars, Woody. Now you can see 35 times larger than before. So now it's only 1 trillion miles away. Okay, great.
Yeah, you stare into the blackness of space. Wow, neat.
I wouldn't say I've almost died exploring, but I did go on a really remote like wilderness hike to this big waterfall, and brought my camera with me, like a professional deal, and nearly dropped it. And in my haste to grab the camera, because it's fucking expensive, I slipped. The camera's fine, but I slipped and fell on a rock, like just feet went out from under me, back hit the rock, and I was like this close from hitting my head. Pretty close. slipped, fell into the waterfall, like, you know, ravine or whatever, and started like floating down the river. And I'm like, oh shit, this is not good. But I could have, you know, I'm out there alone, nothing out there, nobody for miles. So
you would have been on really first bad. 48.
Yeah. And after that, I'm like, well,
I shouldn't be alive.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be alive.
I was that close that if I knocked myself out, could have drowned, you know, like,
yeah, that would have been such a terrible way to die.
Yeah.
What?
Like, I just mean, I don't mean like the experience of dying that way. I mean like falling down and dying in such a meaningless way.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think a lot of us get to have some go out with a bang Marvel movie ending, you know. I think I mean, you could arrange that. You could head over to Ukraine, like you make that happen now.
I'm gonna build a wildly unsafe submarine when I'm like 80. That's how I'm gonna go.
It's just
what are you going to be exploring though? Like what's the gimmick? What are you going down there to look for?
I'm going to explore the wreckage of the Titan.
It's just a chain of people dying over and over. I'm going to explore the wreckage that explored the Titan.
It's like
but you're not a billionaire, so one rowboat.
We can't find the sub. We sit in to find the sub. We sit in to find the
sub. I've got a hefty bag over the windows, like it's like someone's car without insurance.
Taylor just goes, "No, it's okay. I'm the sub guy. Just turn into the sub guy. I'm the sub
I watched
guy."
a YouTube video, and this is the strongest PVC they sell in the for sale aisle at Lowe's.
How strong does PVC hold up against?
I mean, a couple hundred pounds.
Yeah, not enough for a sub.
I did some plumbing.
I mean, water's regularly like 150 psi in places, like so way beyond that. All right, I'm gonna guess 800 psi for like 1 inch PVC.
600 is my guess. Ooh, 300 to 600.
Yeah, there you go.
Facts.
Facts. Now I know.
What about CPVC?
Yeah, what about it? No, don't look it up.
It's the same thing, but for heat. I don't know if it's stronger or not. That's what CPVC is, right?
Well, we'll get to the bottom of it.
All right. I have a question for the group.